good to see you, Zach. How are you tonight? Thank you for coming. How are you? Yay! You sound so good. Oh, good lighting. Can't see anyone anymore. Thank you so much for coming. This is a really special night. We're raising money for Pintler Pets Humane Society, which is a totally great, has anybody been? Totally great humane society. Yeah, when Missoula doesn't have dogs, they've got dogs. They've got some dogs. It's good. So, and all the comedians are donating their time tonight, so we can send money over to those guys, which is really cool. And I want to say thank you to the Zach for having us. This is a monthly show we've been doing. This is only the second one that's been live again, so it's so nice to not really see your faces, but to hear you makes a huge difference. And we have so many good comedians for you. I'm just really excited. I'm also excited that I discovered tentacle porn, which has been, let's get into it, which has been really good. I don't think I have to explain it to you. I was a little worried because I really, really liked it. And, you know, I was just worried about just my spirit, my soul, what it means to like tentacle porn. And then I realized it's just because there aren't any men in it. So, yeah, like, oh, I get it. There's just no masculine breathing. All the penetration, none of the breathing. So that was good. Then I realized I could just watch lesbian porn. And then I realized I could watch lesbian tentacle porn, and that's where I am right now in my journey. That's good. I just got back from Pride in Helena. Anybody go to Pride? Couple people? Hi. Pride is super fun, except that I'm the worst queer sexuality. I'm bisexual. Yeah, see the silence happens? It really is the worst. When I came out in the late 90s, saying you were bisexual was the fucking coolest thing you could say in the whole world. Like, everyone be super intrigued and turned on. And now when I say it, people are like, oh, okay, well, your sexuality kind of implies a gender binary that I find problematic. And I'm like, so you don't want to make out? Yeah, it's tough. I mean, and I've played around with other things. I've tried pansexual, but people set me up with walks. I've tried just saying, hey, I'll sleep with anybody. But when you say that to someone at a party, it gets weird really fast. So I'm like, I'll sleep with anybody, but not you. So, yeah, you know that you're getting old when, like, your entire sexuality has gone out of style. What was that? It'll happen to you. Give it a few years. Gen Z is going to get us all. Yeah, as a bisexual, I can only shit on one other sexuality. There's only one that's worse, and that's bi-curious. Yeah, fuck those. I don't want to shame anyone, but fuck those people, right? Seriously, fuck them. They're so confused. They need to. Bi-curious bothers me because there's no reason to be bi-curious. Like, you could stay in that state for like a few minutes, but after that, there's just no reason, because you can find out. You know, it would be like being pizza curious, right? Like, yeah. You know, I just love how pizza looks, and it just smells so good. God, I wish I knew what it tasted like. But I'm just pizza curious, so I'll never know. No, you can go find out about pizza. Like, right now, there's pizza all over the world. All you have to do is go out and eat some pussy, okay? Figure it out. Yeah. Being bi is a little hard when some of your relatives don't understand. I have a lot of relatives in the Deep South, and they're anti-gay still. and they're also behind the times, just like me. They're like further behind the times. And it's tough, and it's confusing. Like, one of my aunts is on Facebook, and she's totally against gay marriage, but she's always posting animal odd couple videos. Like she totally doesn't think that two consenting adults can have a relationship together, but she thinks it's really cute when a dog and an elephant, are, together. It's so baffling to me. Like, that's ungodly, I think. Like a panther and a pig. That's not right. So what I want to do, I want to take an animal odd couple video and splice in a gay couple in the middle. Like Keith and Brian have been together ever since Keith's parents were killed by poachers. Yeah. They met at the Brass Rail, and they've been in love ever since. We're not sure if Keith and Brian know that the other is male, but we support them anyway. I'm really forgetful. I'm forgetful, so I send myself text to remind me of things. Does anyone do that? Send yourself text? Yeah, but I'm so forgetful that when I send myself a text and I get a little ping 0.5 seconds later, I'm like, who texted me? Oh, it's me. Shit. Yeah. I don't like texting because I feel like I'm constantly trying to get caught up on texts. But when I text somebody back, they just text me back. And I'm expected to text them back again. And as far as I know, this goes on forever with your friends. Don't like texting. Don't like it at all. I don't like when an old friend from high school dies and everybody on Facebook is talking about it, but they won't say what happened. It's totally the worst, right? And you have to start commenting on everyone's post just with really leading comments. Oh my gosh, that is so sad about Eric. He always lived on the edge. When he was rock climbing, maybe? I don't know. Who knows? And then you break down and you DM someone you haven't talked to in 20 years. And you're like, was it drugs or suicide? And they're like, suicide by drugs. You're like, thank you. God. Okay, talk to you next time somebody dies, okay? Okay, hope it's not you. Me too. Me too. You too, I mean. Me too. Me too. You too. Yeah. I don't want you to do that with me. When I die, I want everyone to just post it as your Facebook status, do a little story about it, get it out there. All the details is great. I can't believe it. Sarah tried to take a tentacle that was just too big. Yeah. But she was doing what she loved, so always living on the edge. Are you ready for your first comedian? Hooray! I am also ready. Our first comedian was just performing with me in Helena at Pride. He's super funny. Please welcome Sugar Bush.
Sarah Aswell, everybody. Give it up for her one more time. Like she said, I was just in Pride doing a show, which was awesome. I love Pride. One of the reasons I love Pride is because of all of the straight cis people you see wearing Pride colors everywhere. You'll be at a bar or a party talking to some guy, hitting it off really well. You see he's got a Pride shirt on. You're like, all right, hey, you wanna get out of here? You wanna go back to my place? And every single time it's, oh, thanks, I'm flattered, but I'm actually straight. I just support your cause. That doesn't happen anywhere else. You never see anybody walking through South Central LA wearing gang colors saying oh no, I'm not a Crip, I just support your cause. It's just at Pride. I actually got asked recently why I'm gay. Told them it's because it's in my DNA. Wait, sorry, I messed that up. I told him it's because the D is in my A. I've got one really good friend in Helena that I was very excited to see. Like, we haven't seen each other for a long time, but our relationship weirdly has gotten a lot stronger over the course of the pandemic. Our relationship primarily exists of the two of us sending each other dick pics. Like, we have real conversations. It's not just like, hey, look at this D. It's like, hey, I heard you had a really hard week, but was it as hard as this D? Or, congratulations, I heard you got that new job, but now it's time to get to work on this D. Or the one I sent him most recently, man, I'm so sorry I heard about your grandma, but I've got another stiff you need to be worried about right now. That's probably why I didn't get to see him in Helena, actually. Jokes like that are also probably part of why I'm single. I mean, part of. For one thing, queer people frequently go through relationship milestones a lot later in life than their straight cis counterparts. Like, a lot of my good friends growing up, they got their first significant other around like 14, 15, freshman year in high school. I got my first boyfriend when I was 29. And then 2 months later, he got mono. And then a month later, he moved to Alaska with his family. So I still got that same first boyfriend experience that all of my friends got freshman year of high school. I just did it 14 years later, which works out. I mean, he was a paramedic, and, that's cool and everything, but if I'm being honest, I've always really wanted to marry a doctor. Like, not because of the paycheck, nothing gross. Like, it's because my dad's a doctor. Okay, that makes it sound like I have daddy issues. I don't have daddy issues. I also don't have health insurance. So even though we live 5 hours away from each other, my dad is still my primary care physician. I just text him pictures of things that are wrong with me, like, hey, does this need stitches? What is this weird lump? Is my finger supposed to bend this way? He has nightmares about me getting hemorrhoids. Whereas if I married a doctor, he'd be able to take over that role, and honestly, he'd be able to diagnose a hemorrhoid before I knew there was something wrong. Because of how often he'd be looking at my butthole. And it would be a good leg up on my older brother, because my older brother's a nurse, which, again, nurses are great, love them. He's really arrogant about it, though. He loves to tell me that by the time he was my age, he had already saved thousands of lives, which isn't true. He's a hospice nurse. If he has saved thousands of lives, it's because he's bad at his job. I do have a really great family, though. A little bit wild, a little bit scandalous sometimes. A few years ago, my grandmother found out that she had a brother she didn't know about until she was an adult. And then a year after that, my mother found out she had a brother she didn't know about until she was an adult. And then a year or two after that, my siblings and I found out we had a sister we didn't know about until she was an adult, because we thought she was our brother. For those of you not picking up on this, that means that my sister is trans, which is great. 2 out of the 5 of my parents' kids are queer, or 40%, as I like to say. It just sounds better. But when she transitioned, I actually picked her name. Like, I came up with the name that she chose, Maddie, which was a really special moment between the two of us. And it also probably makes me the only person in history to name their older sister. So that's on my resume. And none of us have kids yet. Honestly, that's probably my favorite part about being queer, is I don't have to worry about surprise pregnancies. Trust me, I've been trying to get pregnant for years. It does not work. And if I had kids, I'd want to adopt them anyway. Like, yeah, kids need families, all of that, whatever. I would want to adopt kids just to get, one up on those rescue animal people. Like the people that would come up to me while I'm walking my dog and be like, hey, is that a rescue dog? I could say, hey, is that a rescue kid, bitch? Like, I've seen that purebred brat you got running around. I bet you got that straight from the breeder, didn't you? Do you have any idea how bad that is for the mother's health? Today's show is supporting Pintler Pets Humane Society, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out there while I'm doing these jokes. And if I did get a dog, I'd actually adopt a dog anyway. If you're paying attention recently, with all of the new states legalizing marijuana, a lot of canine drug units, a lot of police drug dogs are having to retire because they can't retrain them. They're alerting everybody about marijuana when that's not illegal anymore, so they're retired, which is great because that is exactly the type of dog I would want to adopt. Because last month I lost an ounce of weed in my apartment and I could use some help finding it. It'd be lovely. Now that the pandemic is, well, not over, but mostly over, now that I've been vaccinated, I'm starting to try to go on dates again, which is not easy in Missoula when you're a gay man. There's just not a lot of places to meet other gay men in Missoula, and most of the ones you do meet are either 19 or 60, and I'm neither of those. So I've had to use apps like Grindr. You know that old saying that all the good guys are either taken or gay? That is not true. Half the guys that message me on Grindr are assholes. In fact, half of them start off the conversation by sending me a picture of their asshole. I respond, hey, man, I forwarded this to my dad. He says you have hemorrhoids. So before I go, I'm sure you could already figure this out. You don't need me to tell you, but just in case, I am Montana Comedy's gay heartthrob. It's true. If you need evidence of that, I am currently wearing name brand jeans. That name brand is Prana, and I bought them at REI, which is about the most Montana gay thing you could do. If you need more evidence, I also have these lovely stickers, artwork by another fantastic queer Missoula comedian, Ferdinand Poe. He did a fantastic job on these. But it is of me wearing a vest with rainbow fringe riding behind me as I ride a unicorn through the mountains. And it says, Sugarbush, Montana Comedy's gay heartthrob. If you would like one of these stickers, I am selling them. They are $3 a piece or 2 for $5. These ones are a little bit more because they were in my back pocket. And all of the proceeds go to support queer Montana artists who have been affected by the pandemic. Or specifically, one queer Montana artist who's been affected by the pandemic, and that would be me. Thank you very much, everybody. My name is Sugarbush. I'll see you all next time.
Keep it going for Sugarbush, everybody. Hooray. I'm so excited for our next comedian. They moved away from Missoula, and I was very, very sad. And then they moved back to Missoula recently, and I was very, very happy. So they've been in Colorado. Colorado sucked, right? Please welcome Zet Ansley.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I tried to live in Colorado, and I failed. Everything that could have gone wrong did. But I learned a lot of life lessons. Like, for example, don't get super high and leave your debit card at an ATM in a 7-Eleven. Don't get super high and leave your car full of electronics unlocked in a parking lot of a 7-Eleven. Because it'll get broken into. That's if you didn't, because it didn't click for me right away. Don't get scammed by the person you're subletting from into Bitcoin trading. Don't go like 6 months without making a car payment on your car and then change the address on your insurance. So it'll get repossessed. Learned that one the hard way too. Don't go into Safeway 4 days in a row and fill the backpack up with food and expect them not to call the cops on you. That one's on me. I'll claim that one. When I got back, a friend asked me, like, holy shit, that's a lot of horrible stuff. Did anything good happen to you? And there was one time where I ate 6 10-milligram edibles. Pretty good. It was a good day. I I watched Pitch Perfect when I was 6 edibles in, and I think I met Anna Kendrick. Like that was it was a real honor. Now that I'm remembering it, I'm pretty sure I was just singing to someone at a gas station, so I don't know. So about 3 weeks ago, there was oh, cool. Can I have 30 more, please? That's never happened before. All right. Do I take something off? Like I don't... Okay. If you give me another one, maybe. So yeah, 3 weeks ago there was a Pride March downtown here, and at the same time, the same day, my family decided to do a Christmas dinner. Yeah, it's weird. Because they didn't get to do it last year in December because of COVID, so they had it in June, normally. And I showed up after the gift exchange, thankfully, because I did not buy a gift, but because it's June. But there was a Christmas trivia game, and I won. I know I shouldn't feel proud about that, but I kind of do. So I'm going to show you the gifts that I won from the game. This is says Weather Watch. It's a cow with a string for a tail. It says, if the tail is hot, it's sunny. Wet, it's raining. Wiggling, it's windy. Missing, head for the cellar. Another thing that came with the gifts was Hillbilly Bubble Bath. It's beans. It's a bag of beans. Let me, and this next one is the final one, my favorite thing I've ever gotten from Christmas, Hander Pants. I'm just gonna put them on for you and show you. Just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Yeah, they're underpants for your hands. And I'll keep this on. This is good for, in case I ever get shit on my hands. So, oh gosh. This pandemic has helped me realize that I am pansexual. Because I identified as gay for like 16 years, and then this pandemic had me in my own thoughts quite a lot. So I recently discovered I'm pansexual. Now that the pandemic is over, not over, it's whatever, I'm gonna try out polyamory. Recently I bought a puppet. Those two aren't related. I've decided to try to get into pickling. So if you're seeing where this trend is going, I think the next logical step is for me to get into water sports. Just Google that if you don't get it, it's fine. Not around family. Oh gosh. So in my life, I've come out as gay, asexual, non-binary, pansexual, and I've changed my name 4 times. Thank you, I deserve that. At this point, I'm just afraid that I've run out of things to come out as. I'm a fan of Phil Collins. Is that anything? All right. I'm a Capricorn. I don't know if that's something that's big news. Is anybody else in the audience, like I said, for 16 years, I identified as, and then it just kind of went into, and then that kind of like transformed into, now I'm just not worried about it. I'm just saying that which just means unemployed. So that is my set. Thank you so much, everybody. Just want to go out by saying we are living on stolen indigenous land. Black Lives Matter. Stop Asian hate. Thank you very much.
I tried to shake the underwear hand. I got a hug. Oh. Really excited about our next comic. Please welcome Alyssa Calabrese.
You guys don't need to know what's behind there. Okay, let's see. Oh my God, it's so bright up here. I can't see any of you. Nope, that didn't help. Pandemic. Did anyone else shave their head during the pandemic? Just curious, anyone? I can't see your hands, so make noise maybe, make acknowledgement. Oh, thank you. I saw your hands, I see you. That's the only part I could see. But yeah, I did, and that's one area where I have kind of a superiority complex, because I've been shaving my head over the last decade, like about 100 times probably. And I was thinking, and I was like, did anyone think about just pulling every individual strand out during the pandemic? Like we had the time for it. No, just me in 7th grade? No, just me? Do you guys remember Bret Michaels when he did his dating show, Rock of Love? He was trying to trick women into being his happily ever after, his, rose with probably many thorns. But I kind of felt a kinship with him around that time because we were both trying to convince people we had hair under our bandanas. Didn't work. Doesn't work for him. Sorry, Bret Michaels. Please don't sue me. Defamation. I clearly have mental illness. Have I made that apparent enough yet? Trauma. Give it up for trauma. We all have it. Every comedian that's been up and gonna be up have it. We're all just trying to get some validation up here, maybe make some money off our trauma response. And I have a lot of acronyms. I don't know if you guys have acronyms. Do you know what I'm talking about? I have OCD, ADHD, PTSD, LMNOP, QRS, TUV. But I've been thinking about potentially I've been thinking about maybe putting them at the end of my name. Like credentialing. Do you think people will be like, oh, she's so accomplished? She's accomplishing so much. So much is wrong with her. Oh boy. And going right into that, I had a lot of childhood fears, too many. And I noticed kind of a pattern recently where it was after watching certain movies, I was scared of aliens after watching Alien. And then I was scared of twisters after watching Twister. and then volcanoes after volcano, and then spontaneous combustion after, you guessed it, unsolved mysteries. Unsolved mysteries haunting me to this very day. Kind of arousing though, right? Unsolved mysteries. And I'm not just talking about the host, he was kind of a silver fox, but like also just like what's the answer? I want to know. Tingles. Sorry, tingles. But also, oh man, unsolved mysteries. So there was this time I was getting down and dirty with somebody. You guys know what that means, right? I don't have to explain that to you. So I was having sex with somebody, and it was a situation that was happening, and we were I was somehow on a yoga ball on a couch, and it wasn't even their couch. Oh my God. And they go into the kitchen, and I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna, get some water. There's gonna be some hydration happening. Smart. And this person goes to the freezer and gets some ice cubes. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm fucking a genius. Hands-free hydration? Oh my God, I'm showing you, Mom and Dad. I think I'm a genius now just by fucking a genius. And so they come back, and I'm thinking like, okay, like this is great. And I'm just waiting patiently for my ice cube. And then it goes into another hole. And I was like, oh, that's unexpected. Okay. This could be worse. Okay, I'm not getting any freezer burn or anything. But then I have this thought, and that's, one, am I burning your dick off? Like, what's happening? Am I just running hot down here? And then a real fear occurred to me. Like, all of the cases of spontaneous combustion, I don't know if you're familiar, but it's always women over a certain age. I'm not going to say the age. It's fine. But they're all found just like all that's left of them is their legs. So that leaves me with the thought of, this is where it starts. The vagina is the point of origin of the fire, and it just works its way up. Spontaneous combustion, that might be what gets me. And I'm still out there. I'm still gonna, I'm thinking like maybe I just need to keep fucking and maybe that'll stop it, but I don't know, you guys. Well, while I'm still with you, however long that might be, my name is Alyssa Calabrese. Have a great night.
Keep it going for Alyssa, everybody. You guys, I'm wearing a new dress tonight, and my buttons are falling off one by one. I'm getting really concerned. Oh my God. It's vintage, but come on. Sorry, I'm a little flustered. Our next comedian, you can see him this coming Wednesday at the Roxy, and he's very, very funny. Please give it up for Nick Hyde.
Hello. Everybody give it a round up for everybody that already performed. They're great. Alyssa was great, everybody. Hey, now give yourselves a round. How about that? Give yourselves, yeah. And then think about how willing you were to congratulate yourselves just for being here as I fumble through the rest of this for about 5 to 7 minutes. Hi, this is fun. This is a weird place to announce this. I'm kind of uncomfortable doing it, but I'm going to do it. I recently found out that I'm going to be a dad soon. Yeah, thank you. I want to be clear, though. I have no children on the way. But I have noticed I've been spending a lot of time just like puttering around my apartment, fixing little things as a way of not confronting my own lack of emotional availability. And it feels like a very dad thing to do. So I'm like waiting for my receding hairline to take out most of my beard and just leave like a gray mustache, and that's what I have to look forward to. I'm almost 40. I'm trying to figure out how to do adult stuff. I've been thinking about buying a house, not to like live in. I can't afford that, but like just to haunt. Because that's a down payment, and then I don't have to worry about the rest of that shit if I time it right. And I also I think if I were to ever haunt a house, I'd want to haunt like a really nice house. Both because, like, I love the idea of eternally tormenting the property owning class, but also it's too hard to tell. Yeah, hey, thank you, socialist. I don't know, I tilted my head to the right, secret code for all of my far-right freak friends in here. Well, don't clap for that. There might be some of us in here. Yeah, I also, the reason I want to haunt a nice house is it's too hard to tell if like a shitty apartment is haunted or just shitty. Like there's no amount of like unexplained noises that can't be like attributed to faulty ventilation. Like slime on the walls and whatever is this like toxic mold that your landlord won't deal with. And like if you've got phantoms visiting you in the night making you question your life decisions, that's just what it's like to be an adult with roommates. Like that's, in your 20s you look forward to the fun things you'll do. In your 30s you think about why it is that you still have to have 4 people living with you to survive. Wow, I'm realizing that some of my jokes are less funny than they are just kind of like not great. Like everyone's like, living is hard. Why is he reminding us? I haven't completely given up on the idea of someday having a family. I'm still dating, but I'm realizing as I'm getting older, my preferences are changing a bit. Something I recently had to accept about myself is that in the future when I'm dating, I'm trying to look for someone who I don't know why. Someone who doesn't immediately insist on me choking them. I don't mean to like kink shame or anything. Like sometimes when I'm watching pornography, the popular with women category will come up, and so I'm pretty sure I'm an ally. But also, it's just like with homeownership, I don't feel responsible enough to do either of those things. Like I don't know how to get better at it. I'm not going to Google how to choke women good. I don't need that kind of heat. It's also weird because these haven't ever been long-term relationships, and so there are people who won't let me drive because they don't like the way I roll through stop signs, but are eager to have me at the helm while they dance on the precipice of death so they can see the Reaper for a few moments of out-of-body ecstasy. I don't know why that's what I get, but it's also I did recently, like I'm becoming more like mature about confronting that stuff. I was dating someone and we had a sex boundaries talk, and she asked me like what is like a hard no for me, and like without a pause I was like, well, if I'm being honest, I would prefer to never be shit on. And that wasn't like the wrong answer, but it was clearly not on her radar. Like that was one of those things where it's like, it's good we're talking about boundaries because I had some I didn't know about, and so I'm glad that we confronted that early on. But also, I think right now I'm at a point in my life where the relationship I'm working on developing the most is with my old man cat Dwight. I was hanging out with him recently, and I was giving him little pets and scratches like you do to a kid or cat. But Dwight sometimes, he likes to get rough and he'll bite and scratch me back. And I had a moment there where I thought, I wonder if there's like a glove I could buy that would allow me to scratch my cat's head while allowing him to scratch and bite me without hurting me. And then as soon as I had that thought, I realized that at some point in my life, fairly recently, I decided that I'm going to be a person who's never going to have sex again. That's like the self-awareness and shame is gone if I'm thinking about special cat gloves. But not only is like that the concern, but like my instinct after having that realization was I need to write that down so I can tell a group of people about that as soon as possible. Like that's, you don't know me. I could have come out here tonight and been anybody. I could have come out here tonight and like, hey everyone, like I'm Cyrus Good Ideas, and here are my skewed ideas about American politics, and you'd be like, he has thoughtful insights. And instead, I just need you to know that like I'm doing my best to make it work with my cat. It's and so I didn't stop thinking about the cat glove, and I realized that if such a thing were to exist and I were to buy it, that is guaranteed loneliness, because you can't just own a cat glove. I thought, like, what if I hid it somewhere so no one would find it? If I have a long-term relationship with somebody, they're gonna find it. And then they're gonna have questions. And I'm gonna be like, there are parts of my relationship with my cat that the world isn't meant to know about. And that relationship is done. Or I could just like leave it out in the open, own it, and then someone has to be like, oh, hey, what the heck is that about? And I'm like, well, here's the thing. My cat likes to play rough, and I'm not really into kink shaming him. And then we're having another talk about boundaries we didn't know we had. That's my time. I was somebody. Enjoy your next.
Keep it going for Nick, everybody. Yeah. And I don't know where this puts me, but I think those gloves exist. I do, right? They don't? Yeah, I think they do. In restaurants? Cat gloves? Oh, like not a specific cat glove. I think specific cat gloves exist. I don't know. Let's talk about it after the show, okay? We have one more comedian before our headliner. If you want to go to Ronan, is that how you say it, tomorrow night? He'll be Ronan. Thank you. Sorry. Ronan. I also say Spokane. I know. He'll be there tomorrow night, wherever it is. Please welcome Jordan Demander.
Hello, thanks everyone. Keep it going for our host, Sarah Aswell. Yeah, thanks so much for coming out. I feel like it's safe to say we could all use a good laugh. I don't know about you guys, I've been making some poor, dark life decisions recently. I'm a little ashamed to admit it, but I have a confession. I recently started watching Dawson's Creek. Also, I've been microdosing meth. The trick is you just do like a tiny amount every 10 minutes. So I've got about nine more minutes before I gotta get back on the train, get back on that meth train. I am a pretty big fan of substance abuse, I'm not gonna lie. Any other fans of abusing substances in the audience? A couple people. I like substance abuse mostly because it's super fun, but I also feel like of all the different types of abuse, it's generally the least frowned upon by society. Like if your neighbor finds out you're abusing your dog, he'll hopefully call the cops. But if he finds out you're abusing substances, he just asks if he can come hang out. On my way over, I'll pick up some more substances, then we can really abuse them. This is good though. This is good. We're all supporting a good cause tonight, and the comics in this town are constantly doing benefits for different good causes. Like a couple weeks ago, I performed at a benefit for Alzheimer's. I can't really remember how that one went. A while before that, we put on a sock drive for people with bare feet or whatever, keeping toes warm, and then even before that, we did a benefit for Planned Parenthood. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to that one, but at the same time, I've given those guys plenty of business over the years, so I'm not too worried about it. They're gonna make it. They're gonna make it. I'm also excited that I'll be doing some traveling later this summer. I'm gonna be going down to beautiful, sunny Wyoming. Any Wyoming people? No? I can't see you if there are. I like Wyoming. That's where I grew up. You know, it's kind of like most states. It has all the same types of shitty people. You know, it's got racist, it's got sexist, it's got Steely Dan fans. Just all the worst kinds of people, basically. I noticed something the last time I was in Wyoming as I was leaving. Wyoming's one of those states that when you're leaving, no matter which direction you're driving, you feel like you're traveling into the future. It's like you get into Utah, and it's like scenic utopia full of beautiful people that refuse to drink caffeine or have sex with me. And then you get up into Montana, and it's basically just like a really cool version of Wyoming where everyone smokes weed and drinks good beer and is slightly less homophobic. Slightly. We're working on it, Montana. And then you get up into Idaho, and it kind of just still feels like 2020, except if the Nazis had won the war. Because that's what Idaho's like. But it's good. It's good. Let's see. I'm also going to some weddings later this summer. Are there any happily married people in the audience? A couple. And then just regular married people. Are there any of you out there? A little bit more. I don't know if I'll ever get married. Probably not. But I don't really understand the whole marriage thing. It's like my friends like, oh, I love this person. They're my favorite person. Of course I want to spend the rest of my life with just this person. To me, that's sort of like just picking your favorite movie and deciding to only watch that movie over and over again for the rest of your life without watching any other movies. Like, I love the movie Predator. It's probably one of the best movies of all time. But am I prepared to only watch Predator for the rest of my life and never watch any other movies? And at first it's kind of nice because I'm learning things about Predator that I didn't know before. Like about Predator's adorable drinking problem. And the annoying way that Predator breathes while they sleep. But I don't like to point out Predator's flaws to them because they just get super cranky. Even though Predator has no problem pointing out my flaws to me, I just accept it because this is what marriage is. I signed up for this shit. And it's like, a couple months go by and then Predator's just upset that I'm spending so much time with my friends. And I try to tell them to go out and make some friends, but I'm just way better at making friends than Predator is. But I can't say that to Predator, so I just have to invite them to come hang out with me and my friends, and that's okay. That's okay. This is what being married is all about. So it doesn't get bad until it's like 10 o'clock at night and Predator's ready for bed, but I'm not ready for bed. And Predator wants to go upstairs and go to sleep. And it wants me to go with them, but I try to tell Predator I only have 50 pages left in the last Harry Potter book, and it makes way more sense for me just to stay up and finish reading, and also I'm not at all tired, so why would I go to bed right now? And then Predator does this thing, well, just come up there and lie with me till I fall asleep, and then you can get back up and go downstairs and read. But we've tried this before, and inevitably, every time I start to get up thinking that Predator is asleep because I start to hear that annoying breathing thing they do while they sleep, Predator just wakes up and says, no, they're not ready for me to go downstairs yet, which is stupid because I should just be able to go to sleep when I want to go to sleep. But that's what I signed up for, because that's what marriage is. So it's not my fault that I don't ask Predator how their day was going that day. It's totally natural that I don't want to hear about what they did at their stupid job. I fucking mow yards for a living. I'm not telling you, Predator, what I did for my day. Let's talk about something interesting. I don't want to hear about your day, Predator. And apparently that makes me a bad partner. Whatever. You know, time goes on, and eventually 6 months down the road or whatever, I can't even watch Predator without just pretending I'm watching Alien. But I don't want to stop watching Predator because I'm also a super jealous asshole, and I'm afraid that one of my friends might start watching Predator if I stop. But then I remember that it's Missoula, and most of my friends have already watched Predator anyway. Because that's how this shit works. Hey, thanks so much for coming out, you guys. I'm going to get Sarah back up here. Thanks again. Thanks for coming out.
Now, none of us can ever watch Predator ever again without thinking about that. Are you ready for your headliner? Are you sure you're ready for your headliner? Good. Right, you might have seen her at the Union Club open mic emceeing. Yeah. You might have seen her do stand-up all around town, all around the state. You might have seen her with a really, really cute little baby. Please welcome Krysta Campbell.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you for coming out tonight. Being the headliner of the show, you have to prepare more time, which is a big punishment in my eyes, but you get to choose the nonprofit. So I chose the nonprofit of Pintler Pets, and none of you have been there because you don't go to Anaconda unless you really have to. And I've had to a few times, but I got my first dog there, and we wanted to get a dog that was, you know, big and athletic and could go on hikes and stuff like that. And so we ended up getting a 5-pound poodle with no teeth. And he liked to pee everywhere, and he was cool. So he was about 8 years old when we got him, and so he was very athletic. And he lived for about 8 more years, but towards the last couple years of his life, he was still sharp and my best homie, but he just started peeing everywhere. So he would just stand there and just pee and look at you like, what? You gonna kick me out now? And so, you know, when that happens to a dog, you do what you have to do, and you put them in a diaper is what you do. So for 2 years, I changed diapers, and they have these belly wraps that you can put around male dogs, and they come with these tiny little panty liner pads, and which doesn't hold anything. So I went to the store, and I got those super heavy flow overnight menstrual pads to wrap around my dog. You know, ladies, the ones that start at your belly button and they go up your butt crack and they end up right below your neck. Those ones that you had to wear when you were young. So, yeah, he'd walk around the house. He'd lift his leg on a pillow. I didn't care. He's peeing right into that diaper. It was great. I was a dog person, but not a dog person until I got a tiny dog, because they're like your baby, especially when you got a diaper on the thing. And so now when I see dogs coming down the road on a walk, I forget that there's a human attached to the other end of the leash. So I'm that person who's like, you're having a good day, aren't you? Look at your tail. Your spots are so pretty. That's nice. And then I come out of my dog blackout, and then I look up and I'm like, your own kind is staring at you. And then I say, hi. And then I say, have a good time at the dog. You're going to have fun at the park, aren't you? See ya. So, people are weird. People are very weird. My grandma, I hang out with a lot, and I'm starting to morph into her, I think. She's also a dog talker. And during the pandemic, I had a baby last year, and he's here tonight. And but so I just locked it up, and I didn't do a lot. And I started thinking I am my grandma, because she'll talk to me for like 5 minutes about, like, there's a new car in the parking lot, but don't worry, I'm keeping my eye on it. That kind of things where you're like, okay. And I found myself doing the same type of thing where I would say things like, so I talked to the neighbors today. Her name's Jill, by the way. I didn't know that. Did you? And my partner would be like, and I'd say, and that black cat that's running around, that is their cat. And get this, it's outside all the time except for at night. It comes in and sleeps on their pillow. Isn't that cute? And he'd be like, that's nice. And I'd say, you know, and they apparently they painted their fence last year, and before that it was blue. Who has a blue fence? That's fucking crazy, right? And so I'm my grandma now, and we hang out a lot. And she's 89 years old. In a couple months she's gonna be 90. Yeah, she's kicking it. She is sassy as can be. This lady will roll her eyes for any reason at all. Just, it's like completely out of context. I've said before, I've picked her up and we cruise around, we drink lattes. We're like wild bitches, you know? And I'll say, Grandma, there's not a cloud in the sky today. It is so beautiful out. And she'll go, like, did you see a cloud? Am I wrong? Or is my positivity annoying to you? Do you not like that positiveness? But spending a lot of time with a different generation of mine, I realized that, like, she gets away with a lot, and we still think it's okay. She was born in the 30s, so I feel like we give her a little leeway. And I think she's pretty woke for being 90. But if we said the same thing, her woke is like me being a little racist. You know, let me explain. Like, we were in the car cruising around, being crazy, drinking lattes, and there was a person walking down the street who was black, and she points. First thing, I was very scared, and she says, you know, I used to work with one of those people a long time ago, and we talked all the time. We were good friends. And I went, out of my mouth, I should be slapped. But you saying that, that's woke as fuck, Graham. Like it. Friendly, accepting, open-minded, I like that. That is good. I'll take it. You were born in the 30s. We'll take it. Yeah, so during the pandemic, I started watching a lot of news, which is just detrimental to everyone. And I started thinking, like, are men the problem? Or no, they're not the problem. Are they the problem? I haven't seen a woman do anything really big and weird lately on the news. Like, if anybody could find me an article that says that, like, 2 women, like, robbed a convenience store, I would like to see that. I don't want it to happen, but I'd like to think there's, like, a little bit of equality going on here. It's just, so I got to thinking, like, maybe we just need a little separation for a while. Not a permanent thing, just a little temporary separation where the women go to one island and the men go to another island, just to reset. I think we need a reset. And so I'm thinking that a daily life on the women's island, I mean, we would have our problems, but I feel like, you know, we would start hitchhiking everywhere because we could do that again. So that'd be neat. I've never done it because I missed it. And I think, you know, in my evenings, I'd go out and water my garden, and then I'd come in and I'd wave to my neighbors and say, see you tomorrow. And then I'd go and no, I wouldn't lock the door because we wouldn't need locks anymore. Yeah, we wouldn't need locks, but I just closed you know, we probably wouldn't even need doors at all, I think. I don't think we need doors at all. So I would just close the screen to keep the bugs out, and then I'd go to sleep. But before I go to sleep, I would turn on Netflix, and I'd watch whatever I wanted. Yeah. But if it was too long of a separation, we'd have to worry about like reproduction. So it would be in the agreement that once a year we'd get on our ship and we'd sail over and we'd pick up barrels of sperm because we know what to do with it. And we'd trade like weed we've been growing in our gardens, you know? So we'd get in our ship and we'd sail over to the men's islands, and after we get past the barricades, because they had formed an army by now, and I know what you're thinking, and we would bring the mace cannons just in case. I don't think we'll have to use them, but I think we should bring them. And you know, the men's island would work well. And everything's really good. They would have colonized the smaller parts of the island, which is unfortunate, but that's to be expected. I'm sorry. And then we would just, you know, take our barrels and we would say, you know what, just get your act together and then we can all come back together. So, yeah. Just a side note, earlier today I taught yoga, which is opposite of this right now. My notes for yoga were inner peace and acceptance, and then my notes for this tonight were men to their own island and big vagina. So, like, maybe I don't know who I am. I'm thinking that I don't know who I am at this point. I do like men, I should say that. My dad's here tonight, and so I like you, Dad, a lot. So that's true, I really do. So my son's a little over 1, and I'm breastfeeding him, and breastfeeding is awesome. I like to dress for the temperature when I'm in my house. I feel like where it's cold, you put on a coat, and it's hot, you don't wear a shirt because you're in your own house and you can do what you want, right? So I had no shirt on the other day, and I came and sat down, my son was playing, and then he realized, oh, the restaurant's open. And so he is playing, he's busy, and he turns over and just takes one suck, and then goes back to playing. I was like, that was weird. And then he's kind of busy, and he keeps, just like he's taking just a little bit to get you through a little bit. And I thought, this is why my kid does not really like real food yet at 1, because I'm following him around with his milk, with his food. It's like people offering me lattes. Do you want one? Not really. Oh, it's right here? Sure, well, fuck. Like, all day long. Decaf lattes are my new heroin, by the way, because I'm a mom. So, yeah. So with breastfeeding, I feel like this is something that's come up that I didn't realize was going to come up. People are really supportive of breastfeeding these days. You can like do it in a theater and people don't like banish you, which is a neat thing. But people, a lot of times, I've probably heard it 6 different times, not kidding, people talking about breastfeeding with, well, just don't do it, you know, when they start to ask for it, because, you know, that's where it draws my line, when they start to be old enough where they're asking for it. And I just didn't know that was such a deep fear of people. It's like something where people keep mentioning it as if I'm gonna like never stop doing this. And does anybody ever been like in Costco talking to a woman and their kid comes up and says, "Mother, I'm ready for your breast now, I'm parched"? Like, has anybody ever heard that? Yes? I feel like there is a time, and does it happen enough, though, that it needs to have a warning sign on everyone? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, we're getting to the big vagina now. Okay. So, I'm going to leave you with this thought tonight. Last year I was 2 years ago, I don't know what year it is. About 2 years ago, I was newly pregnant, and I was talking to my friend, and she said, "Do you know about, like, the big vagina part?" And I was like, "What big vagina?" She said, "Later on in pregnancy, your vagina will get big." And I said, "Like, how big?" And she said, "So big where, like, it might, like, flood over your underwear a little bit. Like, you'll have to buy new underwear." And I did not know this, so thank you for telling me. And she said, "I didn't know it either." So I'm sharing that all with you tonight. So I'm not shocked by that. I am shocked by it, but I didn't know that. But I'm really happy about it, because can you imagine if the vagina was the last to know? I feel like, the whole body's preparing for the big move, right? Like, the milk is coming in, the uterus starts doing its thing to help, and then what if the vagina was like, what? Wait, what? So it's getting bigger to prepare for the big move. Like, if the body was an apartment complex, and everybody was messy, everybody had their shit in the hallways, and everybody, hey, the big guy's moving out upstairs. Did you hear? Wait, fucking what? Well, when? Like, it could be hours, it could be today or tomorrow, but soon. Okay, what the fuck? Did you know about this? Oh, you knew about this. Nobody thought it'd be a good idea to fucking tell me about this? All right, I have the biggest area here that I need to clean up. I got shit everywhere. I would have cleaned up a little bit. Would have been nice to know. So I'm happy there's good communication in the building. That's good. So I'm just spreading the good word. If anybody wants to go home to their families tonight and say, did you know about the big vagina? I just think it might be something that we should all know about. So thank you for coming and supporting us tonight. I'm going to leave you with the big vagina, and I love you all. Thank you very, very much.
Keep it going for Krysta Campbell. Hooray! Thank you so much for coming. Thanks for supporting Little Pets. We're back here August 28th supporting Open Aid Alliance, which will be really awesome with headliner Ferd Poe. So thanks for coming. See you next time.